but I have decided that I am going to make a video about my piercings. So I haven't really made any YouTube videos on this channel before. I used to have a YouTube dedicated to my dreadlocks, but I used to have really long dreadlocks, but I ended up taking those down because I took my dreadlocks out, obviously. But if anybody ends up having like questions about dreadlocks, I can make a video about that. I had them for, I don't know, like a year or so, but this video will be about my piercings. So I have about 15 piercings currently. That's not counting ones I've taken out, really. Not all of my piercings have jewelry in right now, especially on my ears. I don't think I have any. I have a hoop in on my ears, but besides that I don't have any. But I will go through all of my piercings, when I got them and how painful they were. My first piercings that I got were my lobes when I was a baby. I got those pierced when I was like 2 weeks old at the hospital. I was born in Canada. And then my piercings after that were my seconds when I was like 11. It was one of those places kind of like Claire's. I think it was called Libby Lou. I don't know. I was little. It was done in Chicago. My thirds and my fourths on my ears I pierced myself with a push pin because I was stupid and in 6th grade and thought I was really cool, which it is not. An infection's never cute, but they didn't get infected, thankfully, but they really easily could have. My piercing after that would have to be my lip ring. I got my lip pierced when I was 16. I got it done at Psycho Tattoo in Atlanta, Georgia, where I live now. Didn't hurt. Oh, and for my ear piercings, those really didn't hurt, but my lip piercings, I was expecting it to hurt really badly because it was my first not ear piercing, but it went really fast and it was such an easy piercing to heal. I didn't really have any problems with them or with it. So yeah, I took that out. I had it for a while. I'm 19 now, so I had it for 3 years. I got it done for my birthday, my 16th birthday, but I took it out just because I felt like it was a little much with my septum. My piercing after that would have to be my belly button. I got my belly button pierced at Psycho Tattoo as well. I got that done for my 17th birthday. Everybody told me it was going to hurt really badly, and it didn't. I think I hurt my boyfriend more. My boyfriend came with me to get the piercing done, and I was just squeezing his hand, and he doesn't love holding my hands when I get piercings anymore because you know it's going to hurt, but he does it, thankfully. But really didn't hurt. Again, didn't have a lot of problems with it. It was a little finicky for a few months. It didn't fully heal on me personally for like a year. It didn't really cause any problems, but it just didn't feel totally healed all the time. Like, it would still get a little bit like crusty, and I just cleaned it with some Dial soap and it cleared up with in about like a week or so. I think it's just because I was in dance and being so active and having it rub on my leotard all the time just kind of irritated it a little bit, but it is perfectly fine now. My piercings after that, I got 2 cartilage piercings. My sister did them. Again, not smart, don't recommend it, but one of them came on perfectly. I don't have any earring in it right now because I lost my earring for it, but it's still there. And then the other one actually got really infected. I got like a double piercing, one right under the other, and the one on the bottom got infected, and I had to take the earring out, and it like squirted blood out, and it was gross, and I just took it out, and I'm happy I did. But the first piercing, the one on top, never had a problem with that. My piercing after that would have to be, ooh, there's so many that I can forget. Oh, my nose. I got my nose pierced. I can't really see it. Kind of, well, whatever. I got my nose pierced, and I had a hoop in it for a while, a really long time, but again, I took it out for my septum. I got that done when I was 18, and that one kind of hurt. Like, cartilage really freaks me out. I'm not super great with cartilage. Like, I've gotten piercings, but cartilage is still like my weak spot. So this really like scared me to get, and it definitely hurt, and I heard like a little bit of a pop. So I like teared one single tear very dramatically, but a lot of people are like, it's not really that bad at all. I think on just me, I'm so used to more fleshy kind of piercings, like my lips and or my lip, and and my belly button, but this one healed up really fast. Didn't really have a lot of problems with it, and I'm happy I got it. I really like my nose ring. piercing after that would have to be my smiley. I got my, can you see it? It's the frenulum. I call it a smiley, but because a lot of people don't know what frenulum is, but a lot of people don't know what a smiley is anyway, so I usually just show them. But I got this. It's called your frenulum. I got this done. Oh, and this I got done at Psycho Tattoo. This one I got done in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania when I was visiting my sister. My boyfriend and I both got them done, and it was about $40, I think, which was probably my cheapest piercing. The rest of my piercings usually were around $60 because Psycho is a little bit expensive, but this one was $40, and I got that done at Inka Dinka Doo in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it was the first time the guy was piercing smileys. He had an associate who was now a tattoo artist who had done these before though, so he kind of walked him through it and it came out perfectly. Kind of a little bit of a pinch. I thought it was going to be virtually painless, but it was a bit of a pinch, but definitely not a bad one. Nothing to like, if you wanted it, would not like stop you or anything. It was really just an easy piercing. In out, probably took about 5 minutes to get done. The hardest part was putting the ball on just because it's a little bit slippery and you have to hold your own lip up, which can be a little bit weird, but healed so well. It stopped hurting probably in like that night. It stopped hurting, and then you just rinse it with mouthwash, and it was just not a difficult, so easy to heal. All you really do with it or for it is rinse it out with mouthwash, which is perfectly fine and super easy to deal with. Piercing after that, I got my septum pierced. I got this done the same summer I got my smiley pierced. I got this done in Indiana. I went to go visit friends and we all went and got a piercing. This one hurt. Not like, oh my god, worst pain in the world, but it was definitely my most painful piercing. It was a step up from my nostril though, like not like, oh, the worst pain in the world, but I was tearing up like nobody's business. The piercer said that's completely normal, it's just how your body reacts, but it's a little bit embarrassing because I'm just like sitting there closing my eyes, and when I open up my eyes when the piercing's done, all of my friends are just like, oh, and I'm like, oh my god, like, does it look that terrible? And it was really just because I was tearing up so badly. But this piercing probably took me like a month to heal, which to be fully healed. I mean, it probably wasn't fully healed within a month, but it felt completely healed in a month, and I just kept rinsing it a little bit with sea salt, which is what I do for most of my piercings. And, you know, I had a retainer in. It's a teeny tiny pink retainer, so I had to flip it in at night so that it wouldn't fall out. But such really easy piercing. Like, I know I keep saying it's a really easy piercing, but septum was definitely one of my easiest piercings to heal. Never really had any kind of issues with it. It was definitely sore for a few days, but I took like an Advil and I was completely fine. My boyfriend also got that done. He said it was extremely painful on his, but he has a thicker this bit of skin than I do, and they don't pierce like the cartilage because everybody thinks it's the cartilage, but it's really the little bit of skin underneath called the sweet spot, and it just wasn't that bad, and I'm really glad I got it. I love my septum. Piercing after that would have to be my tongue. I got my tongue pierced it's when I first started college. I got my tongue pierced at a place that I now get a lot of my piercing called Cat's Meow in Kennesaw, Georgia. And I got this done. It's weird to like look at in the camera, but I got this done, and so painless. Like, you really think that it's gonna be so painful because it's your tongue, but it's so fast and the piercing just goes in so smoothly that, I mean, it bled a little bit, but really super not painful at all. Probably one of my painless, in fact. It was just really easy, really fast, and again, all you do to clean it is rinse your mouth out with non-alcohol or alcohol-free mouthwash, and then you're good to go. And you do that for a few months. It was swollen. It definitely was swollen. I had to eat ice cream that day. My tongue was a little bit lispy, but it went away within a few days. And then I love my tongue piercing, and it's fun. I think you can do like tricks with it and stuff. I try not to. Sometimes I like don't realize I'm playing with it, but I try not to because a lot of people think it's a little bit weird, but super fun piercing. Glad I got it. I like that it's a little more hidden, so I can really just hide it if I don't want people to see it. Same with my septum, you can just flip those up. A lot of my piercings now are a little more hidden. My last piercings that I got, and a little bit more risque. I got my nipples pierced, and a lot of people are going to be like, ew, that's gross. Oh, like, what kind of kinky weird stuff are you into? But no, I got it done because I think they're really pretty, and it was also a little bit more of a to prove to myself that I had the cojones to go and get them pierced. And I did, which was really, I was proud of myself for it because I was so nervous and I thought that they were just going to be excruciating to get done. But it's definitely more of a shock. Like, the entire experience was a little more, definitely different. I mean, you're topless in a piercing shop. But I had a girl piercer. I got it done at Cat's Meow, and she was great. I didn't feel uncomfortable absolutely at all. It was very fast. She was great. Like, it took like 10 minutes for both of them. And the pain of getting them pierced didn't really hurt that badly, but the pain afterwards, like, it hurt to have like wind blow on you, and they just constantly ached. And you just take some medicine and put on a sports bra, which you had to live in a sports bra, and I probably slept with a sports bra or just a normal bra on for a few months, but now they're perfectly fine, and I don't, like, a lot of people are like, oh, aren't you scared that they'll get ripped out? But, like, if you're careful like you are with any piercing, they won't get ripped out, and they're perfectly fine. And you just clean that again with sea salt in little cups, and you just kind of put your boobs in little cups, and yeah. So that is all of my piercings. If you have any questions about a specific piercing, feel free to ask. I'm totally open to answering anything, basically. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.